We respect a lot the Indian position because, first of all, it's based on the international law. It's based on the Charter of the United Nations. It's based on the morals of the world, of the human civilizations first, and the Indian civilization second, and the Indian people moral. This is very important. That's the difference between state and regime. The state bases everything, all its vision, all its policy on the ethics of its own people. So we respect the Indian position in that regard. Second, as you just mentioned, very important word, it was independent. In spite of all the pressure, all the Western pressure on every country, including India, to join the embargo against the Syrian people, India wouldn't cease its relation with Syria. And some of the investments still going on in Syria with Indian participation in different sectors because of that independent position. I think our independence came at the same time, in the 40s, in that era. And the geography could be different.
Right.
The reason why we have been facing terrorism could be different, but at the end, terrorism is one. And the ideology that we've been facing is the same one. And the most important thing that the terrorism has been used in India for political reasons, for political agenda. The Syria the same, to support a terrorist organization for political agenda. This is something very dangerous. It's beyond only India and beyond Syria. Well, if you look at the map in the world now, if you look at Libya, at Yemen, at what happened recently in Egypt, in France, recently in UK, it tells you that terrorism has no borders. So what we have to do, not only to learn from our experience. Our experience, if you talk about Syria and India, could be very similar. We can learn a lot from each other. But it's more than that. We need to have international coalition against terrorism, a genuine one, to work against terrorism, to learn from each other, and to support each other in the fight against terrorism. As you mentioned, we can cooperate, but cooperation not only intelligence.
Right.
It's about the ideology, it's about the politics.
Absolutely.
That's been supporting these terrorists or this terrorism. How can we work together politically to prevent the terrorism from spreading and prevailing in the world? You know, every politician can say, no, we don't do it, morally or for any other reason. And the viewers can say, no, he's not honest. I wouldn't talk about this in that traditional way. I would say, let's ask the question, would it be logical to be used if we have it? We don't have chemical weapons, but if we have it, if you want to use it, why would you use it in that case? 1 week before that alleged incident, the terrorists were advancing. We didn't use it. So why to use it where the army was advancing and the terrorists were retreating? This is for a second. It was used, as they said, we don't know if it's true or not, against civilians in one of the cities. So if the Syrian army wanted to use those kind of weapons, why don't he use it against the terrorists who's been in the field, not against the civilians? So all this story doesn't have, let's say, legs to stand on. It's not realistic, it's not logical. So who's behind it? It was simply the United States and the Western intelligence with the terrorists. They staged this play just to have pretext to attack Syria. The problem in the United States is about the whole political system. It's not about one person. Trump's election has proven again for us, again and again, that the president is only a performer. He's not the decision maker. He's part of different lobbies and the deep state, or the deep regime, as we can call it, who implement and dictate on the president what should he be doing. And the proof to what I'm saying, that Trump, after he became president, he swallowed most of the promises and the word that he was boosting during his campaign. He made 180 turn in nearly every promise. So why? Because the deep state wouldn't allow him to go in certain direction. That's why, for me, dealing with him as a person, it could be, but can that person deliver? No. In the United States, president cannot deliver. The whole state, the deep state only, is the one who can deliver. And this is the problem. This deep state doesn't accept partners around the world. They only accept puppets. They only accept followers. They only accept proxies. That's what they accept. We're not any of these. Stepping down as president because you came through election will be through election. Or when you notice that the Syrian people will not support you, because if they don't support you, you cannot achieve, you cannot produce. This is where you have to leave. Because the situation is not like that, and you're in the middle of the storm, Syria in the middle of the storm, I cannot say I'm going to give up and leave. This is going to be very selfish and very unnational, let's say, if we can call it this way. No, in the middle of storm, you have to do your job as president. Till the people tell you, go, leave, you cannot help your country. This is where you have to leave. So this is regarding leaving Syria. But for me, personally, to leave Syria, no, it's not an option for me. Since I was young, I was, brought up as a person who can only live in his country, not any other country.